Good evening, everybody. Welcome in to Coach's Corner East on this Wednesday evening, the 8th of December. Glad to have you aboard. And we'll be talking basketball tonight with the Colonel Crawford Eagles and the Crestline Bulldogs. There will be no Galleon tonight as they have some other commitments. Show is brought to you in part by Steve Chuck Keller at Keller Auto Parts, your Napa dealer. Uptown Galleon at Crestline, Marie Mounts at the Platinum Insurance Agency, your progressive agent, 131 Harding Way East, Uptown Galleon, and Joe Kleiman Associates at the Galleon office of First Federal Bank of Ohio. As I mentioned a little later on, it'll be assistant coach Gary Almanson and I believe the JV kids from Crestline High School. And to start our show in just a moment, it'll be David Sheldon and the Colonel Crawford Eagles. We're brought to you in part by the Burkhart family at the Burkhart Farm Center, a Case IH dealer, straight west of Galleon on the Manette New Winchester Road. Mike Kleinert at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, and Marion, and Sweet Baby Ray Jones, Davy's little brother at Ohio Door and Sash, 120 South Street in Galleon. And it's a pleasure to welcome for the first time this year, first time in 2 years, David Sheldon. It's great to see you again. Everything was on the phone last year due to COVID, but you're back. You couldn't make the first show because you had some commitments because, of course, being the AD, you got a lot to do there as well, but it's great to have you back.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks for having us.
Absolutely. First game, night before Thanksgiving. Do you like that date to have it the night before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, you know what? We changed that a few years ago, and the reason is instead of playing Friday, Saturday, you go Wednesday night, then our guys get Thanksgiving Day off with their family and that. Then we come back, practice Friday, and play Saturday. You want to get two non-leagues in that opening weekend. So that's the reason we moved it. And, you know, the success of our football program has been great, and you know, we only had 2 weeks of practice prior to that, so it was tight trying to get stuff in. We only got 2 scrimmages, but, you know, it all worked out. But I like being able to have our guys have Thanksgiving Day because when we played Friday, Saturday, we'd practice on Thanksgiving morning.
Oh, boy.
You know, those years, you know, so that's the reason we went to that move.
And then as an AD, if it's a home game, you probably like the gate, especially now that fans can be back in the stands because, let's face it, Thanksgiving, a lot of people, family members are probably home, have an opportunity to see the young kids play.
Yeah, we had a really good crowd, but, you know, anytime the Eagles play, we have a good crowd.
Yeah.
Whether it's home or away, our community loves come out and they travel, so
we're
fortunate.
It had to be great to have the front row gang back too, isn't it?
Yeah, they got in some last year too. They found their way in, so you know they found their way in. But you know we're blessed to have great fan support, and they come out and watch us. You know it doesn't matter home and away. We've had great student sections home and away, and you know when you have a successful program, people want to come out and watch it.
Yeah, no question. Well, you start out that night before Thanksgiving, you get a nice win over Crestline, 52-28. It was kind of close after the first quarter, but you made a defensive adjustment at halftime, went to a 2-3 zone, and really kind of pushed out the Bulldogs. A comment that you had made in the paper, I thought it was our second half. We made great adjustment, went to our 2-3 zone, tried to spread them out, take shots, so they couldn't hold the ball. And of course, you've been around the block a few times. You know those adjustments to make and what it would take. But first game out, having only 2 weeks practice, just a couple scrimmages, how did you feel your kids did?
I thought our guys did good, and credit Crestline. You know, they came out and wanted to slow not have as many possessions. You know, with the talent that we were fortunate to bring back from last year, and you know, the 2-3 zone, we got them to shoot quicker. Mm-hmm. You know, they were trying to isolate us in that, and you know, try to get a mismatch in the 4 corners and. You know, we got them to speed up, which, you know, we want to play fast. And we were fortunate in that 2-3 zone did that the second half, and we were able to, you know, break away with a good win there.
Mason Studer, who's here tonight, was tops, 24 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Carter Valentine, 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. Braxton Baker, 7 points, 2 rebounds, and Trevor Vogt, 5 points. So nice balanced scoring was there. And then the Saturday after Thanksgiving, you go on the road to Kenton and beat them pretty handily, 76-48. You turn around and the following Tuesday go down to Northmore against a former Colonel Crawford player and someone that you're quite familiar with in Blade Tackett, who's leading the Northmore Golden Knights. And was close for a little bit, and then that really changed as well. You defeat them 61-23, and after a close game early, your defense took over, held them to 1 basket and 2 free throws the entire second half. I know defense wins championships. You're probably going to say that. Talk about how proud you were of what your defense did that night.
That was a great effort. You know, the Bentley kid had 23 the night before, and then, you know, Northmore's 3-1 now. He had 20-some the game after us, and they won last night as well. And, our guys just locked in. That was probably, overall, probably been our best performance of the year down at Northmore. We had a great, just team effort. It was phenomenal defensively, offensively. We were good, and it was a good win. And Blade's got a good team. Like I said, they're 3-1. They're going to win a lot of games. But it was a nice road win. It was a great atmosphere over there on a Tuesday night.
Sure. Carter Valentine led all scorers, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 4 steals. Braxton Baker, 14 points, 5 rebounds. And Nola McKibben, who's also here, back off a late preseason injury, chipped in with 7 points and 5 steals. And it's got to be nice to have guys that, if a team comes in and says, well, saw what Studer did, so we're going to shut him down. You got other guys you can go to and kind of mix and match, right?
Yeah, that's a big thing. We got to make sure we're sharing the basketball. We got a lot of shooters, and we need to share. Everybody knows about Mason and Carter, but with Nolan and Braxton, and Carson Fixner's produced some points lately the last couple games, and that's the key to our success offensively. We were sort of running a different offense than we run in the past. When we had Chase and that. So we're opening the floor to let our guards create and dump off passes for our post, and that's got to get good shots, because the one thing we've done is we haven't turned the ball over. We're only averaging 6 turnovers a game, which is phenomenal, and that starts with your point guard. Making sure you take care of the basketball. But our guys have done a great job, and that's what we preach is. We got to make extra passes, get in the paint to create for yourself and others, and our guys overall have done a pretty good job of that so far.
Very good. And then last Saturday, your first league game, the Battle of Route 602 up in New Washington against Buckeye Central, team that returns a lot of the players, as we talked off air, and you defeat them 54-42, maybe a little closer than some may have predicted. You led 19-6 after one, but Buckeye Central outscored you in the second by 6. And you led at the break 25-18. Buckeye Central outscored you in the third 16-14, and they were only down by 5 with 1 quarter to go, but then you kind of laid the lumber and outscored them 15-8 in the final frame for the 12-point win. And you didn't shoot it particularly well, 36% from the field, 19 of 52, and 30% from the 3-point line. Do you attribute that to their defense and what they were doing, or just had an off night from all the shooters that you have?
First of all, hats off to Buckeye. I thought that, I've seen all their games, and it's the best they played. They shot it well, and it was a night we didn't shoot it well. We had a lot of defensive breakdowns. This past Monday, we've spent a lot of time in our film room, just stuff that we got to improve. And, Buckeye was sagging back in the man, and you have to make shots. It was tough to get in the post because of the way they were playing defensively, and it was a night we didn't make shots, and we probably forced some where we could have got a better shot. And you talk about that. But, I think that's a good part of your program when you win by 12 and you're 4-0 and you're disappointed because, there were some things that everybody, these returning veterans here know that we got to get better even after wins, things we got to get better, because every night out we're going to get everybody's best shot.
No question.
With the success we've had, we know we're going to get everybody's, and Buckeye played well, and Buckeye had something to do with that, but I think there was some internal that we got to get better too, both ends of the floor from that game.
Mason Studer, I apologize. 23 points back as the top scorer. Ethan, you chipped in with 7 in that game, right? Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I apologize. Carson with 7, Carter Valentine with 6, Nolan McKibben 6, and Braxton Baker with 5. So again, really nice, even spread out scoring. So nice win there. Take a break here before we talk to the young men around the table. Show's brought to you in part by Lee Plymouth and Brad Seibert at the Plymouth Insurance Group, Gallion and Bucyrus, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center, North Walnut Street across from the courthouse in Bucyrus. Phil and Sue Schreck at Phil's Deli, just east of the Pizza Hut at the Bridge in Gallion, as well as Steve Kurtzman and Associates at Innovative Recycling, 352 South Street, Gallion, Candy Bolin at Bolin Realty, 2 blocks west of the Uptown Gallion Square, and John Cross at Cross Comfort and Custom Floors, 302 North Seltzer Street, downtown Crestline. And seniors around the table tonight for the Colonel Crawford Eagles. Mason Studer starts out, and welcome to the show. Welcome back. It's good to see all of you in person rather than on the phone, because that was kind of a mess last year, wasn't it?
Yes.
Try to dial in and get it done, but it's here. You never think your senior year is going to get here, and then all of a sudden it shows up really quick, and some of you are on the football field and got your senior season started, and maybe you were in some other fall sports, but basketball is what you all enjoy, of course, and you've started out really, really nice. And is this what you expected, Mason, that it was going to be like this? Coach talked about only averaging 6 turnovers a game and not being sloppy, taking care of the ball. Is that what you expected?
I'd say that I expected us to win. We had a few games where we won by a lot, but we're still not where we need to be at all. We got a lot of stuff we got to improve on still, and trying to just figure out everything. We got some new guys playing, and we lost a lot of experience last year, so we got to gain a lot of that back.
Coach talked about running a little bit of different offense, and you being the point guard, you're the quarterback of that offense. Did you kind of embrace and welcome those changes with open arms, or are you kind of steadfast, like, I want to run what we were used to running because I'm used to it?
I mean, I just kind of do what I'm told. I like the new offense. It's a lot more relaxed. It allows just for Carter and I to create, because we have so many weapons around us that, I mean, if they help too much, we can kick it out and we got open shots, and if they don't help, then we get open shots too. So I like it.
As a junior last year, you look at the success the team had, undefeated during the regular season. Tournament trail ended sooner than you would have hoped against Willard in the district semi. Is that a lot of pressure on you, especially as the point guard, that, well, gosh, if we lose a game, then that's worse than we did last year? Do you take that on? Is it a lot of pressure, or you just say, I'll take it a game at a time?
It was, yeah, last year was last year. We're not the same team. We don't have the same guys, and this year's this year. So it's just, and last year the reason we had our success is because it was one game at a time. We weren't thinking, I remember the last game, I think we played Clearfork, and I didn't even know what our record was. It was just because we just went one game at a time. That's the same approach we have this year. We don't remember anything from last year. We'll remember it, but we're just focused on this year now. It's just one game at a time.
Good. Well, continued success, and we'll look forward to probably talking to you somewhere down the road. I appreciate you stopping out. Carson Fixner is next, and congratulations on an outstanding football season. I'm sure you wanted to go a little deeper, but still fun nonetheless. Had a great year, and so congratulations on the postseason accolades and things like that. But now you're inside, probably glad that it's a little warmer, right? You're not outside, didn't have to be out there in the bad weather. But your role on the team this year as a senior, I suspect, is probably the dirty work underneath, getting offensive and defensive rebounds. Would that be a true statement?
That is a very true statement.
and I'm sure during practice, and certainly not games, you've never heard Coach Sheldon or Coach Hill or any of them, Coach Capel, say box out. You've not heard that, right? They don't say that to you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't do it every time, I'll get told to do it, but for the most part, it's all I do is just get boards.
You know, Coach has talked about, as the years that we've met, that the really thing that really impresses, I think, a lot of people about your program is that everybody plays their role, whatever that role might be. Not everybody can be the high scorer. Not everybody can, be the tops. Do you embrace that role as being the guy that has to clean up the stuff underneath and do the dirty work, so to speak?
Oh, yeah, for sure, because not a lot of people are willing to accept to do that. Like, you got kids coming up through junior high, freshmen, all they want to do is score, but nobody's willing to get rebounds and get assists and not be the high scorers of the team.
Does that, when you're in there and you're being able to get the rebounds, I don't care if they're stick backs or on the defensive end, does that kind of boost you up when you can grab it, kick it out, and you see your guards flying down, filling lanes, things like that you've done your job?
Yeah, because when you get a rebound and you see somebody's open, I'm not too worried about scoring. I just kick it out to them, know they get a good inside-out shot, and hopefully they knock it down.
How nice has it been to have your Eagles Nest back in and full and pumping you guys up?
Oh, it's amazing. You got Lincoln Mollenkoff and Cyrus Bell down there screaming, getting in trouble by Mr. Bruner.
Yeah, I saw pictures on the Telegraph Forum. Looks like Cyrus is getting into it a little bit.
Yeah, it's great to have them back. It creates a way better atmosphere and just makes the gym loud again.
Yeah, I bet so. Well, thanks a lot for coming. Continued success, and we'll talk again, I'm sure. Next up is Nola Mckibben, and then great to have you back, and a little dinged up to start the season. Was that a football injury, or is that something that happened during basketball?
No, it happened during our last scrimmage for basketball before the season. I took an elbow to the face and lost a tooth and almost another one. So.
Oh my gosh, who was that against?
Huron.
Huron. Okay, have you sent him the dental bill, the kid that did it, or?
Not yet.
Not yet. Mom and Dad are going to be sending it that way. I bet that was not fun at all.
No, it wasn't fun. I think the worst part was having to sit out for the next week and a half so the other tooth could heal back up.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you only get so many paydays as a senior, and to sit out due to an injury, that had to be difficult for you. How did you get through it, and what did you do to help your team get through those games that you missed?
I think for me it was just kind of during practice, running and staying active and still shooting, just not going live or contacting anything. And during the game, staying involved and cheering my teammates on because it's a team game. All you want to do is win. So.
Yeah, for sure. How's the shot right now? Is it where it should be, or still some work that needs to be done?
Oh, we can always get better. It's not where I want it to be, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, and you're more of a three-point specialist, or will you take it to the?
Yeah, I'm more of a three-point shooter than anything.
Coming off of screens, or do you prefer just having the set off of a set?
Usually Mason and Carter are pretty good at creating, so usually it's just kick out.
All right.
Kick out and knock down three.
All right. Well, very good. Continued success, and glad to have you back.
Good to be here.
You bet. And finally, Ethan Smith, Senior, it's good to have you here. Thanks for coming out. You got your Colonel Crawford colors on tonight, so that's good. And this is an important group, a group that's been through a lot of winning. So you're used to that, and talk to Mason there about the pressure of it all. But as your senior year, what do you want to do to help this team be as successful as they can be?
I just want to be out there and do anything I can to help them get better. I mean, I'm not out there to run the show. I'm just there to help them do anything I can to get them better.
What is your major role? Is it more offensive? Is it more defensive? What's your biggest role, and how you can help them out?
I'd say my major role is probably defense.
Defense.
Getting out there, guarding people, getting rebounds, not scoring at all.
So when you shut somebody down, now are you on like one of the toughest shooters for the other team, or
No.
you're just out there? But when you can shut somebody down and you hear the crowd getting pumped up, what's that do to your psyche and your mindset?
It makes you feel good that you just shut someone down and get back on offense, and one of your teammates gets the ball and score.
You know everybody's out for you each and every game because of your past. Do you embrace that? Do you enjoy that? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's fun knowing that you're on top and that everyone wants a part of you, because it's no fun if you're not on top. And
That's right.
if no
That's
one's
for
coming
sure.
for you, then you're not nothing prepared for. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for coming out. Good luck, and enjoy the season for sure. Take another break here before we come back to Coach, before we wrap things up. Show's brought to you in part by Terry Gribble and Associates at your Galleon Community Center, YMCA, Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, 222 West Mary Street in Bucyrus, and Rod Steiger and Associates at Pizza Hut. Galleon and Bucyrus are host of the show since 1992, and Luann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing and Signs, sponsor of our phone board, T-shirts. Back to head coach David Sheldon of the Colonel Crawford Eagles, and you got a few games coming up, all league games coming up, because we're now into that full swing. You'll have a couple non-league coming a little later on that we'll talk about as the season goes, but you got a kind of a pesky Bucyrus team coming up Saturday that will be at your place. In fact, the next three are in the Eagles' Nest in the MAC Gymnasium, so that's a good thing. But a team that has a lot of returners, a lot of experience, and a coach that's been there a couple of years, starting to build some consistency. What have you seen about the Redmen on film that concerns you, Coach?
Our first start is, Ethan Smith and Carson Fixner epitomize our, program. You talk about, they bring toughness. It's sort of I'm a big football fan. Offensive line don't get a lot of credit, defensive line, it's always the guys passing, and that's why we've been successful, because you hear these young men talk about, hey, we do third, we're at the toughness, and Carson scored the last couple games, offensive rebound, dump off passes, and I start by that. That's, everybody asks, why is just because guys behind, they just want to win.
Right.
Now, when we talk about Bucyrus, this is a good basketball team. They got 6 lettermen back. They're 1-1, and they've got a coach. They've had some continuity instead of having coaching changes.
Yep.
And, it's like I told our guys after we went over to New Washington last night, we're going to get everybody's best shot. When you've had success, we know they're going to be coming and jacked up. It's not like they know all our guys. We know them. They're going to come in, and we're going to get a great shot, and it's going to be a tough opponent. It's nice to get back home. We had 3 straight on the road,
right.
And it's nice to get back. As you talk about Mac Morris, there's not a better student section.
Oh, no.
These guys' friends on a Friday, Saturday night, whenever. So, it's going to be a tough game, and they've played well. Even the loss to Mohawk, it was a 4-point game late. Then Mohawk's a very good basketball team. So, it's a challenge, and, our most important team right now is Bucyrus, and that's why we've been saying we don't worry about what's past them. You're going to talk about it a little because you have to as a media guy,
right.
But that's the most important thing to these guys right now.
Yeah, and then the following Saturday, the 18th, Seneca East, brand new coach, Coach Langhurst, brings his team in, and don't know a whole lot about them yet, but that'll be something. They're always going to play you tough, right?
They got a real good returner in the Mason kid. Mm-hmm. He's a really good player, and I saw some stats. He's having a great year to start, and they're off to a good start. They got a winning record to start, and they'll be a good team for sure.
And then to take you into Christmas holiday, your rival Winford comes to your place on Wednesday the 22nd. Team also with a brand new coach, but one that's very familiar with the program, having played there, and in Mike Smith, and just 3 seniors on that team, but a group of young kids that can do some damage too.
Yeah, you know, it comes to your mind, Philly, Ader, and Schieffer. They've played a lot of varsity basketball, so, and like I said, I have not even seen them play. You
Right.
know, when we play in all these games, I'm looking one ahead, so, but, you know, that's a rival, and it'll be a great atmosphere. A couple days before Christmas, everybody's home for the holiday, and it'll be a great crowd you know, you always get great crowds over the holidays.
Yeah, no question. Well, good luck this Saturday against Bucyrus, and we'll catch up here in a couple weeks, and continued success to all of you. Stay, now is the mouthpiece going to go in? Do you have to wear one now? Yeah, I kind of figured you probably did. Did you have one before? No, okay, all right, well.
His dad's not real happy that he didn't have one before.
You wonder why you wear them in football, right? Well, continued success. Thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate it, and best of luck to you.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet. We'll be back with Crestline right after this.